Hello everyone and welcome to another exciting video on cybersecurity by Edureka. In today's video, we are diving deep into some essential cybersecurity interview questions to help you get ahead in the field. But before we answer to those questions, let's examine the current job demand for cybersecurity experts. Cybersecurity is booming and the numbers speak for themselves. According to the graph, the demand size of cybersecurity in India is projected to grow from 4.7 billion in 2024 to 10.9 billion by 2029. Similarly, in the United States alone, there are thousands of job openings and these numbers are only going up. According to an article by Cybercrime magazine, there are projected to be around 3.5 million unfilled cybersecurity positions by 2025. Numerous reports highlight the growing job demand for cybersecurity professionals, but they also reveal a significant talent shortage and a huge skill gap in the industry. In fact, if you do a quick Google search for cybersecurity jobs, you will find leading companies looking for experts, often with impressive salary packages. These opportunities are out there and applying for them is easy, but filling the skill gaps to land these roles requires the right preparations and expertise. That's why we are here with these essential cybersecurity interview questions to help you build the skills and the confidence needed to succeed in this field. So, let's dive in and get started. Before we dive into the details, please subscribe to our YouTube channel and do not forget to hit the bell icon for the latest tech content from Edureka. Also, visit Edureka's website for various training and certification courses, the link to which is in the description box below. So first, let's get started with the beginner level interview questions. And the first question we often hear is, what is cybersecurity and why is it important? So here's an answer to this. Cybersecurity is the practice of protecting computer systems, networks and the data from theft, damage or unauthorized access. And it's crucial because it helps safeguard sensitive information, ensure privacy, prevent financial losses and protect critical infrastructure from cyber threats. Next, a fundamental question in cybersecurity is understanding the differences between a threat and a vulnerability and a risk. So, let's break it down. A threat is any potential danger or harmful event that can exploit vulnerabilities and negatively impact security. Think of a threat as something that could cause damage like a hacker, a virus, or even a natural disaster. A vulnerability, on the other hand, is a weakness or a gap in our security measures that threats can exploit. Examples include an outdated firewall, weak passwords, or unpatched software. Finally, risk is the probability of a threat successfully exploiting a vulnerability combined with the potential consequences. It's about evaluating how likely it is that a vulnerability will be exploited and what the impact could be. So, in simple terms, threats are the dangers, vulnerabilities are the weaknesses, and risk is the likelihood and impact if the danger becomes reality. Another common question is, how do firewalls protect network security? So let's go over this. Firewalls act as protective barriers that monitor and control both incoming and outgoing network traffic based on predefined security rules. Firewalls work by filtering traffic and blocking any unauthorized access to prevent malicious data from entering or leaving the network. For example, they can detect and stop harmful connections like suspicious IP addresses or unsafe websites from communicating with your internal systems. Next, we have a question about VPNs. What is a VPN and why is it used? A VPN or virtual private network is a service that encrypts and secures your internet connections, making it more private and anonymous. VPNs are especially useful for three main reasons. First, they protect your data from eavesdropping, which is crucial if you're using public Wi-Fi networks. Second, they allow you to access content that might be restricted by location, like certain streaming services or websites. And the third, they provide an extra layer of security, especially when using untrusted networks, helping you avoid potential cyber threats. Now, let's talk about two-factor authentication or 2FA. A common question is, what is two-factor authentication and why is it important? Two-factor authentication enhances security by requiring two different types of verifications from the user. Usually, this involves something you know like a password and something you have such as a temporary code sent to your phone or generated by an app. So this additional layer is crucial because even if someone obtains your password, they still can't access your account without this second factor. 2FA significantly reduces the risk of unauthorized access and makes your accounts far more secure. Now, let's dive into two important terms in cybersecurity, that is, encryption and decryption. Encryption is the process of converting plain text data, that is, data in its original, readable form into a coded format to protect it from unauthorized access. Decryption, on the other hand, is the process of converting encrypted data back into its original, readable form. This allows unauthorized users to view the data as intended. Next, let's talk about SSL encryption. The question is, what is SSL encryption? SSL or Secure Sockets Layer is a security protocol that encrypts data transmitted between a user's web browser and a website server. Essentially, SSL protects sensitive information like login credentials, credit card numbers, and personal data when it's sent over the internet. This encryption ensures that data stays secure during transit, preventing eavesdropping and tampering by unauthorized parties. You can tell a website has SSL encryption if you see HTTPS at the start of the URL with a padlock symbol next to it. Next, a common interview question is, what is the difference between IDS and IPS? IDS stands for Intrusion Detection System. It's designed to monitor network traffic and detect suspicious or unusual activities, generating alerts when it finds something that might be a threat. IPS or Intrusion Prevention System goes a step further. It not only detects potential threats but also takes immediate action to block or prevent suspicious activity. Now, another common question in cybersecurity interviews is, what are cookies in a web browser? Cookies are a small data files that websites store on your device. These files hold information like your preferences, session details, and login status, which helps website remember you and provide a more personalized browsing experience. For example, when you add items to an online shopping cart and come back later to find them still there, it's because cookies have saved that information for you. They track your session information, so you don't have to start over. Similarly, cookies enable websites to keep you logged in or show content that's relevant to your interest. Next, an interesting term you might encounter in cybersecurity is honeypot. So, what exactly is honeypot? In cybersecurity, a honeypot is a decoy system or network set up specifically to attract cyber attackers. While attackers focus on the honeypot, security professionals can watch their every move and learn about their tactics, techniques, and goals. This setup helps organizations understand real-world attack strategies and vulnerabilities, enabling them to strengthen their defenses accordingly. Now, let's move on to the intermediate level interview questions. One fundamental concept in secure communication is public key infrastructure or PKI. So, what is PKI and why is it important? PKI is a system of cryptographic techniques designed to enable secure communication over insecure networks like the internet. At the heart of PKI is a key pair, a public key which is shared openly and a private key which is kept confidential by the owner. So these keys are used in various operations such as encrypting and decrypting data, creating digital signatures, and verifying the authenticity of a message or document. PKI uses a certificate authority to ensure that a public key is legitimate and belongs to the correct entity. Certificate authorities validate public key by issuing digital certificates, giving users confidence that they are connecting to a trusted source. Another interview question you might face is about rootkits. So what exactly is a rootkit and how would you detect one? A rootkit is a malicious software designed to give attackers hidden, unauthorized access to a system. Unlike other malware, rootkits are particularly dangerous because they work in the background, often evading standard antivirus detection. Attackers use them to control a system remotely, monitor activities, and steal sensitive information, all while remaining hidden. Detecting a rootkit can be challenging due to its stealthy nature, but there are ways to spot one. First, Specialized anti-rootkit tools are built to scan and detect this type of malware specifically. Additionally, monitoring the system for unusual behavior can help, such as unexplained system slowdowns, unexpected processes running, or changes to critical files. This can all be signs of a rootkit operating in the background. Now, you might also get asked about zero-day vulnerabilities in a cybersecurity interview. So, what exactly is a zero-day vulnerability? A zero-day vulnerability is a security flaw in software or hardware that has yet to be discovered or disclosed by the vendor. Because no patch or fix exists at the time of the discovery, these vulnerabilities are highly dangerous. Attackers can exploit the vulnerabilities immediately before developers have any chance to resolve it. For example, zero-day vulnerabilities have been used in major cyber incidents like the WannaCry ransomware attack causing widespread damage. Next, in cybersecurity, digital signatures are an essential concept, especially in securing communication and transactions. But what exactly is a digital signature? A digital signature is a cryptographic method for verifying the authenticity and integrity of a digital document or message. So here's how it works. When a sender signs a document digitally, a unique code known as a hash is generated based on the document's content. This hash, combined with the sender's private key, creates the digital signature. When the receiver gets the document, they can use the sender's public key to confirm both the sender's identity and that the document hasn't changed since it was signed. Now, moving on to our next question. Patch management is a key component of maintaining security in any organization. But what exactly is its role? Patch management is the process of regularly updating software and systems to address known vulnerabilities. When a software vendor identifies a security flaw, they release a patch, a small update designed to fix it. Applying these patches as soon as they are available is essential because attackers often look for these known vulnerabilities to exploit before systems are updated. Another essential tool in cybersecurity is the Security Information and Event Management System or SIEM. But what exactly does a SIEM do? A SIEM system is a centralized security solution that gathers and analyzes data from various sources, such as firewalls, servers, and endpoint devices. Its main job is to detect potential threats in a real time by correlating data from these sources and looking for unusual patterns or behaviors that could signal an attack. When the SIEM identifies a potential threat, it generates alerts that enable security teams to respond quickly. Additionally, SIEM systems assist with incident investigations by providing detailed logs and can also support compliance requirements by keeping track of security-related events and creating reports. Now, when it comes to disposing of sensitive data securely, there are several common methods used to ensure it can't be recovered. So let's go over each of this. First, data shredding is a method that breaks data down into smaller, unusual pieces similar to how paper shredding works. This makes it nearly impossible to reconstruct the original information. Next, overwriting is another method where we replace the old data with random characters multiple times. This technique is effective for preventing data recovery even with advanced forensic tools. For magnetic storage media like hard drives, we often use degaussing. This involves applying a strong magnetic field to erase data, which scrambles the magnetic field that stores information, making it unreadable. Finally, there is a physical destruction, where storage media are physically broken, drilled, or shredded. This is the most secure method, especially for highly sensitive data, as it ensures no data can ever be retrieved. Now, moving on to our next question. Endpoint security is a critical aspect of an organization's cybersecurity strategy. But what exactly does it involve? Endpoint security refers to protecting individual devices or endpoints like computers, smartphones, and even IoT devices that connect to a network. Each of these endpoints represents a potential entry point for attackers, so securing them is essential for preventing breaches. Endpoint security uses tools such as antivirus and anti-malware software to scan and remove harmful programs. Intrusion detection systems also monitor for unauthorized access attempts on these endpoints. Next, a Security Operations Center or SOC is often the frontline defense for an organization's cybersecurity efforts. So what exactly does a SOC do? Think of the SOC as a centralized team of cybersecurity professionals dedicated to monitoring, detecting, and responding to security incidents in real time. It's essentially the command center for an organization's digital security. One of the Security Operations Center's main function is continuous monitoring. Using tools like SIM systems, the SOC team tracks network, system, and endpoint activities, looking for anything unusual that could signal a potential threat. The Security Operations Center is also responsible for incident detection and response. When a threat is detected, the team acts quickly to contain and resolve it before it escalates. Beyond responding to incidents, the Security Operations Center also works on threat intelligence, gathering information on emerging threats and developing strategies to mitigate them. Additionally, they perform forensic analysis after incidents to understand the root cause, impact, and steps to prevent similar occurrence in the future. So, what's the difference between penetration testing and vulnerability assessments? When they both aim to improve security, they approach it from different angles. A vulnerability assessment is focused on scanning systems for known weaknesses. Vulnerability assessments are non-intrusive. They provide a report of vulnerabilities without attempting to exploit them. This assessment is ideal for getting a high-level overview of what needs to be patched or improved. Penetration testing, on the other hand, takes things a step further by simulating real-world attack scenarios. This test actively attempts to exploit identified vulnerabilities to see what a potential attackers could accomplish. Penetration testing is intrusive by design, as it needs to simulate the methods and tactics that an actual attacker might use. Now, moving on to the advanced level interview questions. And the question is, explain advanced persistent threats. The advanced persistent threats are long-term, highly targeted attacks carried out by the skilled adversaries, often with substantial resources. Unlike regular cyber attacks, which might be opportunistic, APTs are designed to maintain ongoing access to a network without detection. They are sophisticated, stealthy, and persistent. APTs have a few defining characters. First, they are stealthy and persistent. These attackers move slowly and carefully to avoid detection. Second, they use sophisticated techniques like zero-day exploits, phishing, and custom malware to bypass defenses. A typical APT attack progresses through several stages. First, initial intrusion. The attackers gain access, often through phishing or exploiting system vulnerabilities. Next, establish foothold. Malware or backdoors are deployed to ensure they can maintain access. Next, lateral movement. Once inside, they move across the network to find sensitive data. Next, data exfiltration. This is where data is stolen or systems are disrupted as per the attacker's objective. Then comes the maintain presence. Finally, they set up ways to return or continue undetected if they are removed. Now, moving on to the next question. How do you approach securing a large distributed network? So, when it comes to securing a large distributed network, multiple layers of strategies and tools are involved. First up is network segmentation. By dividing the network into smaller isolated segments, you can significantly reduce the risk of attackers moving laterally within your system if they gain access. Using VLANs, subnets, or firewalls to separate segments is common practice and helps limit unauthorized access. Next is strong access controls. This includes enforcing strict authentication methods like multi-factor authentication and ensuring users have only the access they need, following the principles of least privilege. This minimizes exposure and reduces potential attack surfaces. Regular security audits and vulnerability scanning are also critical. This helps identify weak points before attackers can exploit them. Audits ensure your security policies are effective, and tools like vulnerability scanners and penetration testing keep you proactive against threats. Next, continuous network monitoring. Continuous network monitoring is essential for early threat detection. deploy IDS or IPS systems, and SIM tools to monitor network activity in real time, setting up alerts for suspicious behavior. This way, potential threats can be identified and mitigated quickly. Lastly, secure configuration management. Ensuring all network devices are configured with secured settings helps maintain a baseline of security across the network. Using configuration management tools can make this process easier and ensure compliance with security standards. And the next question is, what is the importance of forensics in cybersecurity? Digital forensics is a critical aspect of cybersecurity, providing vital insights during and after a cyber incident. So, let's break down why forensics is so important. Firstly, forensics enable incident investigations. So, when a breach occurs, forensics specialists work to determine the root cause, the attack vector, and which systems or data were impacted. This information is essential for understanding the scope of the incident and ensuring all compromised areas are addressed. Another core aspect is evidence collection and preservation. Forensics follows stringent methods to gather digital evidence, making sure it's authentic and has integrity. This is especially crucial if the evidence is to be used in court or for regulatory compliance. Forensics also play a role in understanding attack vectors. By examining how an attacker gained access, forensics helps identify specific security gaps. This knowledge is invaluable for enhancing defenses and avoiding similar attacks in the future. Additionally, forensics supports legal actions. In cases where cyber criminals can be prosecuted, digital evidence collected through forensics can be crucial for legal proceedings, making it easier to hold attackers accountable. Lastly, forensics enhances incident response. The insights from forensic investigation provide the response team with actionable information, helping them contain and resolve incidents more effectively and efficiently. And the next question is, what are your strategies for managing supply chain risk in cybersecurity? So, when managing supply chain risk in cybersecurity, there are a few essential strategies to consider. First, start with a thorough vendor assessment. This means evaluating each third-party vendor's security practices to identify and potential vulnerabilities that could impact your organization. Next, it's crucial to enforce security standards with these vendors. By setting clear security policies that they must follow, you help minimize their risk. Another effective strategy is conducting regular audits and monitoring. Audits help confirm that vendors are adhering to the agreed security standards and that there is no lapse in compliance. Finally, having a supply chain risk management program is key. This program ensures a proactive approach to identifying and addressing any emerging risk in your supply chain. Next, explain the concept of container security. Containers allow applications to run consistently across different environments by packaging the app together with its necessary dependencies. However, container shares the underlying host OS. A vulnerability in one container can potentially affect the others. So, how do we secure containers? It boils down to several key stages. First, image scanning is one of the first lines of defense. Before deploying containers, we scan the container images for vulnerabilities, outdated libraries, and any misconfigurations that attackers could exploit. Next, access control is crucial. Implementing least privilege access ensures that users and services only have the minimal rights needed to operate, reducing the chances of unauthorized access. Next, once the containers are running, we need runtime protection. This involves monitoring the containers in real time to detect malicious activities like unusual system calls or unauthorized privilege escalation and responding to potential threats immediately. Then, network security between containers also need attention, ensuring that the communication between containers is encrypted and secure prevents attackers from intercepting or manipulating the data. Lastly, configuration management plays a big role. Secure configurations and policies, including proper handling of secrets like password and API keys, can prevent attackers from exploiting configuration weaknesses. And the next question is, what exactly is quantum cryptography and why should we care about it? Well, Quantum cryptography is a new approach to securing communications that uses principles from quantum mechanics, the science that deals with the smallest particles like atoms and photons. In simple terms, it uses quantum bits or qubits to create encryption keys. These keys are super secure because any attempt to intercept them would immediately be detected. This makes quantum cryptography tough to hack. But what makes it really exciting is the future implications. As quantum computers advance, they might be able to break today's encryption methods. Quantum cryptography offers a way to stay ahead of that, ensuring our data stays safe in the long run. The next question is, how do you manage security in a hybrid cloud environment? In a hybrid cloud environment, security management means balancing both on-premises and cloud resources seamlessly. Here are a few ways to make that happen. First, consistent security policies are essential. Make sure that the rule applied to your on-premises setup also extend to your cloud. This way, you avoid gaps in your security framework. Next, use identity and access management to control who can access specific resources, ensuring the right users have the right access. Also, protect your data by encrypting it both at rest and in transit. This ensures that sensitive information is safe no matter where it's stored. Lastly, monitoring and regular audits are key. Monitor your system for unusual activity and conduct audits to ensure security. Next, explain the concept of threat intelligence and its application. So, what exactly is threat intelligence and why does it matter? In simple terms, threat intelligence is about gathering and analyzing data to recognize emerging threats before they cause harm. The main goal of threat intelligence is to help organizations stay ahead of cyber criminals. By analyzing trends and threat patterns, companies can predict potential attacks and take actions before the threat even reaches them. Now, where does threat intelligence apply? It's useful in detecting threats, responding to incidents, managing risk, and even assessing vulnerabilities. Essentially, it's like having an early warning system. Overall, threat intelligence improves security teams' decision-making, reduces risk, and strengthens an organization's security approach. Now, what strategies would you implement for securing mobile applications? So, when it comes to securing mobile applications, there are a few key strategies that can help protect your data and app functionality. First, encryption is essential. By encrypting sensitive data, you make sure that even if data is intercepted, it remains unreadable to unauthorized users. Second, always perform code reviews. Regularly reviewing your code helps you spot potential weaknesses early on so you can fix them before they are exploited. Next, use secure APIs. This controls how data is shared and accessed between applications, preventing unauthorized access. Another critical step is regular updates and patching. Technology evolves fast and so do vulnerabilities. Regular updates help protect against new threats and keep your app's defenses up to date. Finally, strong user authentication methods like two-factor authentication should be implemented. This adds an extra layer of security by ensuring that only authorized users can access the app. The last question of our day is, how do you ensure compliance with international data protection laws like GDPR? So, first, start with data protection policies. These policies guide the organization in handling personal data securely and responsibly. Next, privacy impact assessments are essential. PIAs helps us identify any risk to data privacy in new projects or processes and allow us to take action to reduce those risks. Another critical step is to ensure that we get consent from users when needed and respect their rights. This includes giving people control over their data, like the right to access or delete it. Next, strong data security measures also play a big role in compliance. Encryption, secure storage, and access controls help keep personal data safe from unauthorized access. Lastly, regular compliance audits help verify that all practices remain up to date with data laws. This not only ensures compliance but also demonstrates to regulators that we are serious about protecting user privacy. And with this, we have come to an end to this video on cybersecurity interview questions. And if you enjoyed listening to this video, please be kind enough to like it, and you can comment any of your doubts and queries. We will reply to them at the earliest. Do look up for more videos and playlists and subscribe to the Edureka's YouTube channel to learn more. And happy learning!